The young man stood between the lush rows of tomatoes, every few seconds glancing surreptitiously over his shoulder. He picked the best, using both hands, and rushing them into the thin plastic bag on the ground. The August sun beat on his shoulders, and sweat beaded on his forehead, plastering locks of brown hair to his skin. He grinned at the half-full bag when he heard a sound behind him, whirled around and froze. He was looking down the shaft of an arrow pointed at his face, knocked into a crossbow. His heart thundered in his chest, and he threw up his hands, palms forward, in protest. All he saw was death bearing down on him. "Don't shoot, please! I'm sorry! I'm so sorry! I didn't mean... I just..." He stuttered, fear making his voice shake. "Oh, yeah, you did mean, buddy. You meant to steal every tomato in that bag. Tell me why I shouldn't put an arrow through your chest and bury you in the fields." Only then did it register who wielded that intimidating weapon. Holding the crossbow was a teenage girl with dark brown, gently waved hair grazing her shoulders. The rage in her striking cornflower blue eyes was palpable, and her shoulder-wide stance was solid and practiced. She had a smattering of faint freckles across her nose and honey-bronze skin. Her defined arm muscles flexed with the weight of the weapon, but she had no trouble holding it aloft. She wore a threadbare gray T-shirt, khaki cargo shorts with cotton socks, and black lug boots. A girl, He defaulted to bravado. "You're not going to shoot me with that old thing? Does your daddy know you took his bow and went out to play?" He scoffed and took a step forward. She lifted the bow until it pointed directly at his forehead. "You sure? It isn't my dad's crossbow. It's mine. Who the hell are you, anyway? I know every person in the high school here. Everyone in the town even, and you aren't one of them. Never saw you before. Speak, cretin!" "I just wanted a few tomatoes. It's not a crime." "It's exactly a crime. We sell those tomatoes and you didn't pay. We eat those tomatoes, so you're taking food off our table. That's theft. You walk away from this farm. Go out whichever way you came in, or I'll stick the dog on you. Trust me, you don't want to be on Finn's bad side. Leave the tomatoes and never come back, or we'll press charges. Finn, come, we have an intruder. Get out!" The last shouted word made him jump. He held out his hands, palms up, backed away from the girl, then turned and ran toward the creek and back. She saw him vault over the fence and disappear into the woods. "Loser," she mumbled. She picked up the bag of tomatoes he left behind and walked toward the cottage on the far side of her Aunt Meg's farm, where she lived with her mother, father, and younger brother Logan. On the way, their livestock guardian dog Finn, an Anatolian shepherd cross, came barreling from behind the old barn. "Well, where were you, slacker? I had to fend off a goblin all by my lonesome." Finn's coat was a brindle color with a black mask over his muzzle and ears. He trotted alongside her with tongue lolling out the side of his mouth as she jogged up the front steps of the cottage. She left her crossbow on the deck boards and realized the dog was still standing there. "You seem to have forgotten that you're on duty. Now go patrol this place and make up for your shortcomings." Out of the corner of her eye she saw the dog take off toward the creek and back. "Mom, are you here?" "In here, Leah." She hurried to the kitchen, where Shawnee Tanner was browsing through a soap-maker's catalog at the table, and plopped the bag of tomatoes in front of her mother. "You picked tomatoes? I thought you were milking the goat." Leah plopped down in a chair across from her mom with a rush of air and raked her hair off her face. "I was, but I had to eliminate an unexpected pest. Finn fell down on the job, so I gave him a warning for slacking. Some guy was in our market garden helping himself to our produce." That got Shawnee's attention. "Someone was stealing from us?" "Trying to. The tomatoes in his bag are what he almost absconded with until I snuck up behind him. I held him at bow point, told him to leave and never come back. He was some teenage boy I'd never seen before. He ran toward the creek and jumped the fence. Who could it have been? I thought I knew everybody in this town, but not him." "Did you tell Meg? She should know if we're about to have a problem. I don't remember ever having any issues with theft here, but I've noticed a lot of new folks in town lately. The denser the population, the more unsavory stuff happens. Clancy has grown a lot since you were born, Leah. Do you think Logan may know him?" "I haven't visited Aunt Meg today yet to tell her, but I will. I wouldn't know if Logan's acquainted with this guy. The kids seem to be our age, and Logan has fewer interests in the farm than I do. Spends more time off property. I'll ask him." Shawnee sat back in the chair, pulled her hair back, and twisted it into a bun to get it out of the way. "Hey, take some of those tomatoes back to Meg's house, will you? It will save her a walk to the garden. You and I have to get busy on a new batch of soap tonight. Your dad went to town to get a part at the hardware store and talked to Matt about something, so it's just you and me for a while. I have no idea where your brother is at the moment. Mom, the security camera should have picked up the trespasser, so he must have avoided them. I saw him jump over the fence at the bottom of the hill near the creek, so maybe he hit the blind spot just right. Should we tweak the system to cover that area better? Sure, honey, we can talk to Meg and Elias about it. Go milk that goat, and don't forget to reload the mineral hopper. It was low a couple of days ago. Yeah, will do. Back later. Leah! Leah turned back to her mother. Yes, ma'am? Please don't point that crossbow at anyone unless it's a dire situation. Okay, but it was a stranger, a thieving stranger, so I didn't know if it was dire or not. Shawnee chuckled. When she laughed, she and her daughter looked like twins with their mesmerizing blue eyes. Okay, kiddo, I get it, but make wise choices. Yes, Mom, he'll probably not be back again. I think I made him wet his pants. Leah winked, grabbed the bag of tomatoes off the table, and headed over to her Aunt Meg's place, hearing her mother snicker behind her. Isaac poked his head into the kitchen. Shawnee smiled at the sight of her husband. You're back. I didn't hear the truck. How is Matt? He's good. Where was Leah off to with that cat that ate the canary look on her face? I know that look. Your daughter's going to Meg's to take her a bag of tomatoes. Then I guess she'll milk Mabel. So why is she my daughter today? What did she do? Shawnee flipped a page in her catalog with an amused look on her face. She caught a teenage boy stealing our produce in the garden, Isaac. She pointed her crossbow at him. I had something to say about that. First, we have a thief. That's new. Second, that girl of ours has been a handful since day one. That is not new. In Isaac's mind, an instant memory overlaid present day. He sat at the table in the front room with pencil in hand, the farm ledger open in front of him. From out of the kitchen walked 4-year-old Leah, a stainless steel bowl on her head and hands hidden. Long braids hung over her shoulders, with her cornflower blue eyes wide. She wore pink socks with ruffled cuffs, and sneakers with some cartoon figure imprint, pink shorts and a shirt with puppies on it. Leah, why do you have a mixing bowl on your head? She shook her head in an exaggerated motion. No, Daddy, that's my helmet. She rolled her eyes as if it should be obvious to him. Amused, he asked the logical question. Your helmet, huh? Where are you going? I'm going to hunt mice. I saw a giant one in the barn and Misty couldn't catch it. She needs backup. Isaac bit his lip as he suppressed a laugh. His daughter was so serious about her mission. That must be a giant mouse for you to need a helmet. How are you going to kill the mouse when you catch it? Leah's eyes shifted from side to side and she bit her lip. Then Isaac noticed her hands were still hidden from view. He squinted, suspicious. Leah, honey, what are you hiding behind your back? Let me see your hands. She was reluctant to comply. Then a look came over her. That look she always had when she felt in charge of the situation. She whipped out one chubby arm from behind her and held her weapon in the air like a warrior princess on a fantasy book cover. Sweetie, that's a dough cutter. Won't that be, well, messy? No, Daddy, that's my sword. Can't you tell? It was everything he could do to hold it together. Honey, why don't we just get traps and bait them with peanut butter? That seems a lot easier to me. What do you think? She looked up at the ceiling, her mouth set in her thinking mode. Then her face lit up. Mice love peanut butter. They lick it and blam, crushed mouse. Exactly. Now go get the peanut butter, but scoop out some and put it in a bowl. We can't take the whole jar to the barn. Sound like a plan? Okay, Daddy. Then I can have some too, right? Right. These books can wait. We have a mission to complete. Sky and Misty need our help. Yeah, Mommy would be mad if we got mouse blood on her dough cutter. When Isaac's mind snapped back to the present, Shawnee was watching him, confused. Where did you go? You had the silliest grin on your face. Just reminiscing, love. That young woman that just left the house is your daughter. My daughter is the chubby-cheeked 4-year-old wearing a helmet and going to the barn to kill mice with your dough cutter. Our daughter is the same as she's always been. Fearless.